Hello, my name is Kurt and you're watching Anime Basic. Like and subscribe down below for more videos on live action anime movies. Now over the years, anime has gotten more and more popular as interest in it as a medium has expanded worldwide. But like anything successful, companies are always going to try and expand to other kinds of markets. What if some people don't like animated movies or TV shows? How are you going to try and get them to watch anime? Well, one way is to make it live action. As anime has gotten more and more popular and certain series have found their way into the public eye, we have seen an influx of live action anime movies and TV shows. Anime like Bleach, Ghost in the Shell, Tokyo Ghoul and even Mob Psycho 100 have gotten live action adaptations. Welcome to the 4th episode of Live Action Anime, the series where I take a look at live action adaptations of anime and manga and compare them to their anime sources. I've already taken a look at a couple of good live action anime films and one bad one. Today, I'm covering the 2017 live action adaptation of Fullmetal Alchemist. Fullmetal Alchemist. Now to get this part out of the way, I acknowledge that for the past 5 years, I have heard nothing but bad things about this particular movie, and so I acknowledge that bias going in. I always do try my best to remain impartial, but I am only human after all. I will also let you know that I have not read the manga or watched the 2003 anime series. I have only watched and finished Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood. The film begins with a very strange font choice. The film begins with Edward Elric and his brother Alphonse Elric, who from now on I shall refer to as Ed and Al to make it easier, live with their mother in the rural town of Resembourg. They've been practicing alchemy and show their mother what they've learned. Not long after this, Ed and Al's mother falls sick and passes away, leaving the boys understandably quite depressed and unsure of what to do. Ed and Al decide to perform the taboo of alchemy, human transmutation. They try this in order to resurrect their deceased mother, but it fails. In alchemy, there is a law: equivalent exchange. Ed loses his leg and passes through the Gate of Truth. Al, however, has been taken completely into the Gate of Truth. Ed then sacrifices his right arm to save his brother's soul and binds it to a suit of armor via a blood seal. Years later, Ed has replaced his missing limbs with auto-male prosthetics and has joined the military as a state alchemist. Ed is a prodigy after seeing all of the alchemy knowledge he could ever need in the Gate of Truth. He does not need alchemy science to perform it, unlike most alchemists. Ed has joined the military in order to find a way to get Al's body back. He hears of an item called the Philosopher's Stone that may have the power to do just that. The film cuts to Ed and Al chasing a cultist named Father Cornello, a man believed to be using a Philosopher's Stone to recruit the people of the city of Lior. Ed and Father Cornello have alchemy fights, stretching throughout the city, until finally, Colonel Mustang arrives and the Philosopher's Stone is revealed as a fake. Ed, Al, and Colonel Mustang return to the city at which they are stationed. Meanwhile, it is revealed that Father Cornello was working for beings known as homunculi, and he is then killed. Ed and Al meet with their friend Major Hughes. They spend the night with Hughes and his pregnant wife. He is a man that is well liked by his peers. The next day, the brothers are introduced to a state alchemist, Shu Tucker. And oh man, are you ready? Are you all ready to re-experience the heartbreak that this story has to show us again? Anyway, Shu Tucker is a state alchemist who obtained his license by creating a talking chimera, a feat that had never been accomplished before. However, the chimera only said 3 words before it died. Let me die. Eerie, right? Ed and Al become quick friends with Shu Tucker's daughter, a girl by the name of Nina, and they befriend her dog Alexander as well. Shu suggests to Ed to find a Dr. Tim Marco, a man who was reported to have created a Philosopher's Stone before he disappeared and went into hiding. Ed leaves to go find Marco while Al stays behind in order to spend time with Nina and be inspected by Shu Tucker. Shu talks privately with Al, sowing discord within him. Ed meets up with his childhood friend Winry, and together they go to Dr. Marco's last known whereabouts. Winry shows up earlier in the movie, but she doesn't really do anything besides fix Ed's broken automail, so that's why I didn't bother bringing her up before now. I also have an issue. I am confused. as to why the filmmakers had no issues giving awful blonde wigs to every other character that has blonde hair in the anime, but not to Winry. Why? At least be consistent. Ed and Winry find Dr. Marco, who is immediately distrusting. Dr. Marco is played by Jun Konimura, a Japanese actor who has appeared in more live-action anime films than probably any other actor. The man has been in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, Parasite, Attack on Titan, and 3 Chihiro films. Get the bag, sir! If they're making them, you might as well be in them. The homunculi Lust breaks into Marco's home, not long after Ed and Winry arrive. She soon kills Marco, but is able to acquire his notes on the Philosopher's Stone. I'm surprised they killed off Marco, but I get why, since they would have had to condense the hell out of the manga story in order to fit it in this film. Ed returns back to Shu Tucker's house and realizes that something is wrong. He puts together that Shu's wife had left 2 years prior, the same time that Shu had created his talking chimera. His first chimera was his wife, and Ed realizes that the madman has created another chimera. This time, one made up of his daughter Nina and her dog Alexander. Ed flies into a rage, beating Shu close to death, until he is stopped by Al. The military are contacted and arrive to take Shu to prison at their headquarters, and to strip him of his title as a state alchemist. This is about halfway through the movie, and I had the thought when I got to this part of the film, oh shit, am I enjoying this? Ed leaves the notes with Hughes, as he, Al, and Winry leave to go where they believe the 5th laboratory is, the believed creation site of a Philosopher's Stone. Quite soon after the group leave, Hughes makes a horrific discovery, immediately realizing he is in danger because of what he has learned. As he tries to leave and distribute the information he has learned, he is attacked by Lust, but gets the better of her and is able to escape. Knowing that he will not make it far with the information he has, Hughes stops at a phone booth in order to call Colonel Mustang and tell him what he has learned. While doing this, Hughes is killed by what appears to be Colonel Mustang, but it is Envy, a homunculi attempting to frame Colonel Mustang for Hughes' murder. Rest in peace, dude. You'll always be one of my favorite characters. While this is happening, Shu Tucker has been released from prison, with the homunculi believed to be behind their release. Shu abducts Al and Winry and takes them to the 5th laboratory. Ed and Mustang's Lieutenant Reza Hawkeye are apprehended by the military, as the military is unsure of their involvement in the Colonel's apparent murder of Hughes. Ed and Reza escape, and discover the whereabouts of the real 5th laboratory. As Ed and Reza make their way there, they are stopped by military in the underground. Game over. Nowhere to go. Except, the real Colonel Mustang reveals himself, and using his flame alchemy, reveals the military leader as the homunculi, Envy. The other homunculi, Lust and Gluttony, reveal themselves as well, with Envy making a realization about Shu Tucker's release, running to the 5th laboratory to investigate. Lust and Gluttony follow. The 5th laboratory must be a really interesting place. As Ed follows the homunculi, Ed arrives to the 5th laboratory, but is initially unable to do anything, as Shu has Winry sedated and threatens to put a bullet in her head if Ed doesn't back down. Don't let Shu put a lead bullet in her head, Ed, or she'll be dead. Shu informs Ed that the item he needs to get Al's body back, the whole reason he became a state alchemist, the Philosopher's Stone, is created from killing people. And like, a lot of people. A lot, you get the picture. Shu gloats about traumatizing Ed, revealing the thousands of Philosopher's Stones that have been created. That is, until the no good piece of crap gets moided by Lust. Eat shit, dude. A high-ranking general of the military, General Hakuro, reveals himself. He was the one to release Shu Tucker. He plans to use the Philosopher's Stones to create an army of dummies. He succeeds in creating them, and boy howdy, they are ugly. These white, big, bug-eyed fuglies are even creepier in CG compared to the 2D animation of the anime. But of course, like any good monster-creator relationship, these ugly bastards attack Hakuro, killing the moron. But there's now a big problem. There are way too many of these mannequin soldiers now. Gluttony is instructed to eat as many as he can, while Reza and her men do their best to hold their ground and kill as many as possible with their rifles. Mustang confronts Lust and Envy, with Lust revealing that all homunculi are created with Philosopher's Stones, and they make up a homunculi's heart. Envy is attacked by Mustang's flame alchemy, with Envy seemingly being killed. Lust and Mustang trade blows until Mustang just wrecks Lust's shit and burns her to a crisp, pulling out her Philosopher's Stone in the process. Mustang offers Ed the Philosopher's Stone, but knowing how it's made, Ed can't bring himself to use it, and destroys the Philosopher's Stone. The film ends with all of the mannequins destroyed and Ed vowing to find another way to bring back Al's body. So that's the basic story of the live-action film. It roughly covers the first 4 volumes of the manga, pulling some story elements from later in the series in order to make a somewhat coherent story for a film over 2 hours long. I was expecting to hate this movie. I really was. But I actually ended up really enjoying myself. Sure, it's got its problems. The acting from the main cast is pretty bad, and the CG can be a bit hit or miss, but it generally looks pretty good when Alphonse is on the screen. The film is campy schlock, and really isn't a substitute for Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, but I honestly enjoyed my time with it. Would I say that it's objectively good? Nah. But sometimes I'm happy with a dumb movie so I can switch my brain off for a couple of hours. The film got 2 sequels in late 2022, and I am absolutely watching them once I finish this video. I'm all in. Let's keep the schlock train rolling, baby. This movie came out 5 years ago. You bet your sweet ass I'm gonna be watching them and doing another episode of live action anime on them. If I had have watched this when it came out, I would have given up all hope of a sequel years ago. But this gives me hope. I liked the Bleach movie more than this one, and I mentioned in that video that I wanted a sequel. Come on, Netflix, Warner Brothers, whoever greenlights these, I want a Bleach sequel as well. Well, that's it for this episode of Live Action Anime. I'd appreciate it if you let me know what you thought in the comments down below. My name is Kurt, you've been watching Anime Basic, and if you liked and subscribed, I'd be super thankful. Have a good one.